today for physical and mental health during these trying times, for the ability to gather here virtually as a school body to celebrate our successes, both at the school level and at the CXC level. We ask that you bring your presence into this gathering. We ask that you continue to be with us in our hearts, in our minds, in our thoughts as we progress throughout the term, so that we may do everything to the benefit of our fellow man and, of course, according to your will. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And thank you, Mr. Pierre. I would just like to do the initial principals welcome with respect to this assembly this morning. I would like to note the presence of Mr. Wayne Solomon, the alumnus, uh, the alumni member who will do the presentation this morning. He is an engineer and a former manager of TNTech. I would like to acknowledge the vice principal, the other alumni members present, the parents, the teachers, the students, and all Trinity family members who are with us on the live YouTube stream. I would like to indicate also that we will celebrate the successes of our students in term 2, and we'll also make mention of one out of 2 recent developments. There's a second one. I'm advised that we will follow up on that in probably another assembly, but certainly I will make mention, or the Dean of Sixth Form will make mention of one of the more recent developments. And to note that all merit cards will be available to students via their emails at 10 a.m. So those who receive, who are noted as receiving merit cards, they will get the electronic merit cards in their emails at 10 a.m. We also await feedback from the CXC and Honorable Minister with respect to the exams. I understand feedback is supposed to be presented to us today. And notwithstanding that, the college would press ahead with work in preparation for the exams. And just as a heads up, there are steps in place now to provide some assistance to the communication studies students, Caribbean studies students, and probably some of the students who would have applied for the referrals by way of some work even during the vacation. And just to finalize on one point, the question is asked about the Trinity College scholarship construct. It is, in fact, a set of characteristics, practices, attitudes, and values that would facilitate a student performing at the highest level. So, without much further delay, I would like to ask that we follow through on the sequence of events today. And I understand it would proceed after the principal's welcome to the merit cards of forms 1 to 3. Then the guest speaker, Mr. Solomon, will come on, merit cards of forms 4 and 5 with the dean and form teachers, and then merit cards of form 6 with the dean and form teachers, and then the closing remarks by the vice principal and the principal. So without much delay, I would invite the dean of the lower school, Ms. Karen Workman, and the form teachers to lead us in the celebration of the successes of our students in the lower school. Thank you all. Ms. Workman.
A pleasant good morning to all students, teachers, and parents. This morning we celebrate the achievements of the students of lower school. Today, Wednesday, 26th of May, 2021, we pause amidst the haste and pace of our not so new virtual reality to recognize the efforts and achievements of the esteemed students of this noble institution. We salute you, gentlemen, for working through these difficult times and tenaciously embracing high standards for yourselves. Well done. This morning, students will be recognized for attaining an overall average score, that should be score, of 70% and over. Please applaud them even in your homes. And we begin with the students of Form 1L, led by Mr. Romani, Mr. Alexander, and Ms. Charles. In fourth position, we have Nathaniel Peters coming from Rawle House, and he has attained a percentage of 70.8%. Next, in third position, Nkosi King of Helps House, attaining a percentage of 71.9%. In second place, from Gordon House, we have Arias Chan, and he has attained a percentage of 72.8%. And in first position, from Gordon House, Michael Corbin, 81.3%. Let us applaud the top performers of Form 1L. And we move swiftly along to Form 1R. The students are led by Mr. Norgriff and Ms. Sedeno. And we have, in 10th position, Mr. Jabez Alemani of Helps House with a score of 70.2%. Mr. Tariq Betancourt of Anstey House, and he has scored an average of 71.9%. Elijah Corby in 8th position, again from Anstey House, and coming in with a score of 72.8%. Zane Elliott of Gordon House has taken the 7th position, and he has scored 74.8%. Again from Gordon House, Suraj Laldio is in 6th position, and he has attained a score of 79.8%. In 5th position, Ethan Selvon of Anstey House, and he has attained a round score of 80%. 4th, Tristan Alexander Farina, again of Anstey House, coming in with a score of 81.6%. Again, from Anstey House, Tiano Gomes, 3rd position, 87.1%. Again, from Anstey House, Nikolai Rodriguez in 2nd position, and he has scored 88.8%. And ladies and gentlemen, in 1st position, coming from Rawle House, Jacob Harilal with an overall average score of 91.3%. Let us applaud the sterling efforts of Form 1R's top performers. We move on to Form 2. In 2L, we have Mr. Sandy and Mr. Moffitt as custodians. And we recognize in 7th position, representing Rawle House, Jassy Floyd, and he has attained a score of 73.9%. In 6th position, Nicholas Clark of Gordon House with a score of 74.1%. Russell Romani of Helps House is in 5th position, and he has attained a score of 74.2%. Daryl Thompson, also of Helps House, 4th position. And he has attained a score of 76.7%. In 3rd position, Johanse Brizan of Anstey House, with a total average score of 79.5%. In 2nd position, Mr. Kaelan Patrick, representing Helps House, and he has attained a score of 81.0%. And in 1st position, again from Royal House, we have Giovanni Devatai, and he has attained a score of 94.9%. We applaud, we show our appreciation for the top performers of Form 2L. We move on to Form 2M, and I pause slightly so students can gather themselves. Form 2M, form teachers leading the charge are Ms. Theodore Marson and Ms. Miller. And in 5th position, from Gordon House, we have Jelani Cox, and he has attained a score of 70.8%. 4th, Matthew Simmons of Helps House has attained a score of 74.5%. Again, from Helps House, in 3rd position, we have Nathan Thomas, and he has scored 79.4%. From Anstey House, in 2nd position, we recognize Devontae Roach with his average score of 79.9%. And in 1st position, again from Royal House, Danian Alfred with an overall average of 86.5%. We celebrate the top performers of Form 2M as we applaud even at home. Form 2R. Custodians Mr. Williams and Miss Toppin. And they have a long list this morning. In 10th position, from Gordon House, Nicholas Thomas Victor has scored an average of 71.1%. Just above him, from Royal House, Mikael James in 9th position with a score of 73.2%. In 8th position, from Helps House, Akini Smart with a score of 74.1%. 7th, again from Helps House, Justin Reyes, and he has scored 75.7%. Jaden Raphael, again from Helps House, is in 6th position, and Jaden has scored an average of 76.7%. Just above him in 5th position from Anstey House, Malcolm Prince with an average score of 77.1%. And in 4th position, Amani McLean of Gordon House has come in with a score of 80.1%. In 3rd position, again from Helps House, we have Cree Bain. And Cree has scored an average of 80.8%. From Anstey House again, we have in 2nd position, Jehu Gonzalez. And Jehu has scored an average of 82.2%. And the top flyer of 2R this morning from Helps House, we recognize and applaud Mr. David Ew, who has scored 84.5%. Again, we applaud the tremendous efforts of Form 2R's top performers. We thank the parents and the form teachers of all those students who have gone before for their support, and the subject teachers, of course, for their tremendous support and effort in supporting these students in achieving their best performances. We move on to the Form 3 level. Ms. Lett and Ms. Boisson, form teachers of Form 3L, continue to give human service. And we would recognize today from Anstey House, from Form 3L, Mr. Bradley Luces in 8th position with a score of 71.5%. 71.5%. 7th position from Helps House, we have Michael Jr. Frederick, and Michael has scored an average of 72.2%. In 6th position, Dejon Charles representing Rawle House, and his score 75.1%. 75.1. Darius Wilson, 5th position representing Anstey House with an average score of 77.2%. And in 4th position from Rawle House, Andre Arno with a average score of 77.6%. In 3rd position, again from Rawle House, Kyrie Abdul Hakim with an average score of 77.8%. In 2nd position, Joshua Ward representing Anstey House. We recognize his efforts in attaining 82.9%. And in 1st position, yet again from Rawle House, Tishon Matthias with an average score of 86.8%. Well done, gentlemen. We join our hands together in applauding the performances of the students of 3L. That should be 3L on your screens. Do forgive me. And we recognize this morning the performances of the students of Form 3R, led by their form teachers, Mr. Campbell and Ms. Graham Stenson. And in 8th position, from Ansty House, Caleb Marshall has a score of 71.8%. Just above him, from Gordon House, Dario Jones has scored 73.9%. And from Royal House, Rodney Crawford in 6th position with a score of 77.1%. And then we move to 5th, where Elijah Cameo of Helps House has come in with a score of 78.8%. And Gordon House again in 4th position, Achilles Chan, and he has scored an average of 81.1%. Third, again from Gordon House, we have Kyle Corbin, and Kyle has registered a score of 82%. 82%. And for the first time in lower school today, we have a tie. In 1st position, sharing the spotlight, Ansty House, Samuel Ferguson, and Gordon House, Adrian Jules, both scoring an average of 82.1%. Gentlemen, well done. We congratulate the students of Form 3R for their stellar performances. Thank you, parents, for your tremendous support. Thank you, teachers, for your Herculean efforts. And thank you, students, for your display of courage and dedication. We look forward to seeing you all again this time next term, when we hope to have even longer lists and even greater performances. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Workman, for a job well done. Thank you to the form teachers, the subject teachers, the parents, and the students for taking up the challenge to perform at the highest levels. And I would probably encourage students to note that, and I would like to call the names, Mr. Jacob Harilal, Form 1R with 91.3%, and Mr. Giovanni De Vertile of 2L with 94.9%. So while we have transitioned to the stage of having merit cards for students who would have scored 70% and above, to the case where we celebrate via plaques for students who score more than 80 at a separate function, we also celebrate going forward those students who would have scored 90% and above. Congratulations to all, and thank you again for doing the needful to provide that positive sense to the entire Trinity family by way of your sound and good example to perform at the highest levels. Thank you all again. At this time, I would like to formally welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Wayne Solomon, alumni member, engineer, former T&Tech manager. And of course, we would note that the members of the alumni have expressed a willingness to provide assistance to the school, and they have done so, as you are well aware, by the many projects that they have assisted with, notwithstanding the efforts of other Trinity family members to support. But we certainly would have gotten assistance recently by way of the Wi-Fi project and the repairs to the roof and so on. So I did have conversations with Mr. Solomon with respect to what our initiatives would have been in the last couple of months and certainly years. And I would now invite Mr. Solomon to lead us into a presentation with respect to his experiences at the college and the ways in which these experiences would have led to his successes later on in life. So please join me in giving Mr. Solomon a formal and a warm Trinity family welcome to this assembly this morning. Mr. Solomon, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Thank you very much, Mr. Tang. Thank you for all. Thank you all. As an aside, I observed that the name of some of the forms and the houses haven't changed since I have been there at Trinity. Names like Rod and Ansky and Gordon and so on. That's good. They maintain the old, names and so on. First, let me congratulate those students that were being mentioned there for doing well in the term exams. Let me also congratulate each students, and in particular, Masters Dominic Young Lindsay and Fosi Clarence, teachers and support staff, for they having placed 7th in the Caribbean in Performing Arts Unit 1. Well done. Thank you for inviting me again, and I'm very happy to be given this opportunity to discuss with you how, as the principal said, the Trinity College construct for my schooling at Trinity College impacted my personal human development. Allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Sullivan. As I said, I studied electrical engineering. I worked at TNTech as an engineer and a manager for 36 years. I attended Trinity College from 1967 to 1975. The principal opportunity to receive excellent academic as well as religious education, all towards preparing me for life as an adult. That is, for the development of my abilities or competencies, such that I will be able to take care of myself and others. My time at Trinity College may be considered to be amongst the best times of my life. I had great fun learning and interacting with students, teachers, and the support staff. I participated in sporting and other extracurricular activities, including table tennis and basketball. I dabbled a bit in rugby, chess, and maybe some card games as well. If I may say so myself, I was amongst the best players of table tennis at the time. The values that were engendered at Trinity serve as the foundation for all my subsequent life activities. Trinity College facilitated and demanded that students embrace core values, which may be broadly described as truth, caring, peace, including inner calm. In fact, the whole environment up there was such a peaceful environment at Trinity College in Moka. Even the entrance, they had a lot of cocoa trees and so on. It was beautiful. And even where the school was and so on, it's up on the hills. So it was a wonderful environment. So truth, care, peace, duty, including respect and discipline, as well as justice, including lawfulness, following the rules, being fair to all. All these were values that Trinity College demanded and students had to embrace. At this point, I wish to inform or remind you that the word educate comes from the Latin word educare or dicta, which means to bring or draw out that which is pent up within. That's the meaning of education. Consequently, the schooling or scholarship that each student receives is intended to bring or draw out his personal gifts, such that it will be utilized to assist himself and others in satisfying their human needs or development. So, the idea is that while you might be taught certain things in school, it is meant to bring out your gifts, that it could be of value to people around you. The schooling you receive at Trinity College is therefore meant to assist you in becoming educated. I use the word assist you because you need to differentiate schooling from education. You may be schooled in particular subjects and so on, but you know how to use that to bring out your gifts and so become educated. And another point I would like to make is that for sustainability growth and one's pursuit of happiness, the world demands that each of us live our core values and use our unique gifts to add value to the world, whether at school, the workplace, or other places of engagement. The world is our customer, and each of us are the suppliers. It is said that the customer is king. I make this one about customers because it's a very important attitude to adopt, that you have to provide a product to your customers. In school, in a way, the teachers and principals are your customers because they are demanding that you produce a certain level of performance, a certain level of conduct, which you have to provide to them for their satisfaction. So that's in a way that you are providing a product to them and to the world, because when you have persons who have proper conduct and discipline and so, they are value to the world generally. So you also, in a way, you all are in business in some form. Not necessarily to get monetary compensation, but to get something back in return, which is acceptance, which is satisfying a particular need that you may have, and so on. So that you must bear in mind, we are providing a product to the school, but over at the workplace, same thing. You may have a customer, external customers, you may have internal customers, and the same thing applies. That we must provide a valuable product, something that the customers value, so that you can get in return some kind of a compensation, whether it's in terms of self-satisfaction, whether it's in terms of providing some income that you may need, and so. That is how the transaction operates. So, bear in mind, the customer is king. I also wish to emphasize that each person is required to try one's best to be a continual learner, continually striving to improve one's education, and thus reaping the rewards of an ignited spirit and putting oneself in the path to true happiness. I use the word ignited spirit in particular because, you really, when during your lifetime, you want to be somebody who is energized and who is interested and who is, who's involved in giving out, I suppose, good energy. And in so doing, you feel that inner sense of satisfaction, which you won't get if you don't get involved, if you don't use your gifts. So it's important that you get involved and you reap the rewards of having an ignited spirit. And this is really putting ourselves on the path to true happiness. Please allow me to read at this time a poem called Anyway, written by Carl Keith. It presents some of life's obstacles to happiness and the attitudes or strategy that you must implement to overcome these obstacles, and in so doing, keep your spirit ignited. This is the quote. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you have got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and your God. It will never be between you and them anyway. End of quote. So, in closing, what I'd like to say, my final advice would be that for a life purpose, a life full of purpose and self-satisfaction, you must consciously identify, develop, and be driven by our core values, and not allow ourselves to be driven by anti-values. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Certainly very valuable words from one who has experienced the life at Trinity, the training, the education, the work of the then staff members, the parents, the colleagues who would have gone to Trinity College with Mr. Solomon. Thank you, sir, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the interaction with the family. As you probably are aware, we would have transitioned from thinking of ourselves as let's say separate units in the past to a stage now where all units of the Trinity family are leveraged and we all push people in the same direction. Thank you, Mr. Solomon, from all of us at the Trinity family. And I would just like to note, just like the other successful rugby players at Trinity College, we take note of your experience in rugby and your advice to us to pay attention to our core values and to be aware of the anti-value. Thank you again, sir, from all of us members of the Trinity family.
Thank you for having me.
I would now like to probably move on to the other segment of today's assembly, which would be the presentation of merit cards for students of Form 4 and Form 5. And I would like to invite the Dean, Mr. Pierre, and the form teachers to lead us through this presentation. And just a gentle reminder that it is probably 9 9:51 on my watch, and only 9 minutes or so, those students who were presented with merit cards online earlier, they will receive those merit cards, those electronic merit cards in their emails. So without much delay, I would like to invite Mr. Pierre and the form teachers of the Form 4 and 5 classes. Thank you.
Good morning again, everyone. And we are now about to go through presentations to those students who performed meritoriously in Forms 4 and 5. Beginning with Form 4L, form teachers for that class are Mr. O'Connor and Ms. Samaru. Starting in 9th position, from Anstey House with 71.8%, we have Paris Alcantara. Next, in 8th position, from Gordon with 72.1%, Israel John. In 6th position, there's a tie, 74.4%, both students from Gordon House, Kenai Thomas and Jaceel Constantine. In 5th position, from Helps House with 79.3%, Menelik Caruth. We have 4th position from Royal House with 80% even, Jelani Frank. In 3rd position with 81.9% from Helps House, Keone Graves. In 2nd position with 82.1% from Anstey House, Jamal Mohammed. And in 1st position from Anstey again, 89.9%, Clarence Banfield. And congratulations to those students of 4L. We now move into Form 4R. The form teachers of that class are Mr. Harper and Ms. Joseph. And we begin with 7th position, Helps House with 70.4%, LaShawn John. In 6th position, from Gordon with 71.1%, Carrie Graves. In 5th position, from Royal House, 72.4%, Aaron Rampasad. In 4th position, from Roll with 86.3%, Jaffa Woodley. We have 3rd position next, from Gordon House with 90.7%, Ezekiel Budusing. In 2nd position, Gordon House, 92.1%, Ethan Morris. And in 1st, from Gordon, 93.1%, Tristan Lodge. Well done, students of Form 4R. That takes us to Form 5. Beginning with Form 5L, the form teachers of that class are Ms. Jagrup, Mr. Rigsby, and Mr. Lindsay. Beginning with 9th position, from Roll with 72.5%, Hanson Sinclair Douglas. Next, we have 8th position, from Anstey House with 72.6%, Israel Cook. That's followed with 7th position from Helps, 74.8%, Zion Floyd. In 6th position, from Gordon House with 74.8%, Dimitri Kromati. In 5th position, from Anstey House with 75% even, Isaiah Springer. We have 4th position next, with 75.1% from Roll House, Terrell Cheriandi George. In 3rd position, with 81.9% from Anstey House, Akil Daniel Crooks. In 2nd place, Helps House, 82.1%, David Donatian. And in 1st position, with 85.7% from Helps House, Yannick Hendrickson. And congratulations to Form 5L. And that brings us to our last class for Form 5, Form 5R. The form teachers for Form 5R are Mr. Pyle, Mr. Toyasu, and Ms. Westfield. Starting with 2nd position, with 70.8% from Anstey House, Jelani Fields. And in 1st position, from Roll House with 86.9%, Cade Campbell. And I'd just like to say congratulations to the entire support network of those students, parents, guardians, form teachers, subject teachers, all the stakeholders who would have contributed to these students performing exceptionally well. And I'd also like to say congratulations to all those hardworking students that aren't on this list. Congratulations to you as well. And we know that you're trying very hard, and perhaps with a little adjustment and approach, we will see your names here as well. Thank you all, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre. I would like to echo the sentiments expressed by the Dean, Mr. Pierre, to encourage the students who probably would not been persons who would have received merit cards to probably just adjust slightly your practices, your approaches, your revisions, so that you also can be the persons who will probably be highlighted at ceremonies like these. Just to note also those students, I'm very heartened to see the high number of students scoring 70% and above, and also the students in Form 4 scoring the 90%. Form 4R, Ezekiel Budusing, 90.7, Ethan Morris, 92.1, Tristan Lodge, 93.1, Clarence Banfield, just short of 0.1, but I will note it also at 89.9 of 4L. And we also note those students in Form 5 who would have secured fairly high marks at the level of 80% and above. So just to recognize that, and to also ask that the networking that would have existed to ensure that these Form 4 and Form 5 students perform to their best, that we continue that. And there is sound evidence even among ourselves at the level of administrators and teachers that we make our work so much easier by way of engaging our colleagues for advice, to serve as mirrors of our professional practice, and to network with them to to add support to the students. So thank you again, Mr. Pierre, the form teachers, parents, and students of Forms 4 and Form 5. I will now like to invite the Dean of Sixth Form, Ms. Fonsett, and the form teachers to lead us through the presentation of merit cards to the students of Form 6. Ms. Fonsett, please. Thank you.
Pleasant good morning to everyone. We move into the presentation of merit for Form 6, both lower 6 and upper 6. Please allow me to present my screen. So the Form 6 merit listing is a little bit different from Forms 1 to Form 5. The requirements for merit at Form 6. So Form 6 students achieve the esteemed accolade of merit if they achieve 70% in at least 2 of their 3 core subjects, as well as a passing grade, according to CAPE, 40% and over, in either communication studies at lower 6 or Caribbean studies at upper 6. So it's all about the students this morning, and we are asking that as their names are called, that they put on their camera just for a couple seconds so we can acknowledge you. So let's congratulate all of the following students as they have achieved merit in Lenten Term 2021. To introduce all of these students, I am going to call on the form teachers respectively. So for lower 6 arts, we have Miss Danielle and Miss Ome. Either form teacher is free to call the names of those students. Miss Danielle, you can go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Sorry about that. The truck was passing selling gas. Okay, so in lower 6 arts, we want to celebrate the achievements of 5 students. So I will call actually in alphabetical order. We have Judah Gonzalez of Helps House making 79%. Nicole Gonzalez, also of Gordon House making 73.5%. Aiden Villafana, also of Helps House, making 79% as well. Jarius Wickham of Royal House, 72.3%. And Jerick Williams, also of Helps House, making 70%. Congratulations on your performance, guys.
Thank you very much, Ms. Danielle. So those were the names for lower 6 arts. Congratulations to those 5 students. We move on to lower 6 science, and the form teachers are Ms. D'Souza and Ms. Sidani. Again, students, if you are on the link, we are asking you, please turn on your camera when your name is called so we can acknowledge you. Ms. D'Souza, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ms. Fonsett. Good morning, Trinity College. I am proud to announce the following students who have attained at least over 70% in 2 of their subjects and communication studies. These students will be called in alphabetical order. So we're starting off with Zane Adams from Anstey House, Timoteo Celestin, also of Anstey House, Nerica John of Roll House, Dominique Nurse Allen of Helps House, Dasim Prince of Anstey House, Oprah Watts of Gordon House, and Janae Williams of Helps House. Congratulations, young people. Continue to excel as you all move forward into external exams.
Boy, lower six science.
Excellent stuff there. Thank you so much, Miss D'Souza and Miss Sidani, and well done to Lower Six Science. We move on to Upper Six Arts, and the form teachers are Miss Hicks and Mr. Canterbury. Miss Hicks, it's all yours.
All right, morning everyone. So we are calling our students from Lower Six Arts in random order. And we want to say congratulations. First of all, guys, thank you so much for sticking with it. And we encourage you to continue working. So from Helps House, we have Simeon Charles. Congratulations, Simeon. From Roll House, we have Kieran Hoyt. From Gordon House, we have Amrit Jagdeo. Well done, Jagdeo. From Roll House, yes, Jagdeo, yes, Jagdeo. Right, from Roll House, we have Keishon John. From Anstey House, we have Dre Lorignad. From Roll House, we have Nickel Thomas. Also from Roll House, we have Dominique Timothy. From Gordon, we have Dominic Timothy. Yes, Dominique, very nice. And Dominic, all right. And finally, from Helps House, we have Kyra Young Lindsay. So congratulations, guys. As we say every morning, finish strong. Continue to do the good work. Congrats.
Thank you much, Ms. Hicks, and also Mr. Canterbury for your continued support of these students. Well done, Upper Six Arts. That list is getting longer and longer every year. And we move now to the last but not least class, Upper Six Science, and the form teachers there, Miss McIntosh and Mr. LaRose. Miss McIntosh, it's all yours.
Good morning, Trinity family. Good morning, Trinity College. Parents, well-wishers, teachers, students. We want to celebrate the achievements of the following students of Upper Six Science. There are 7 students in all, and I'm going to call them randomly. We have Naria Charles of Roll House, go Roll. We have Daniel Daly of Helps House. We have Anthony Felician of Gordon House. Milan Holer of Helps House. David Mahabir of Gordon House. Yannick Marson of Helps House. And last but certainly not the least, go Roll again, Jordan Macmillan of Roll House. We want to congratulate all these merit card holders, and we pursue and persuade you all to continue to do your excellent. All those who are not on the merit list, we know that you can do it as well. Keep trying, keep pushing hard. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. McIntosh, and also thank you to Mr. Norose. Thank you to all the form teachers who are constantly supporting these students in their strive to excellence. Before I disappear, let me also say, and I wish that I could be screaming at this point and saying congratulations to these 2 students, but please allow me. If music be the food of love, play on, William Shakespeare. It is with great pleasure that we acknowledge the outstanding efforts of Nkosi Clarence and Ms. Kyra Young Lindsay for their academic achievement in performing arts. These 2 students have been noticed as attaining 7th position in the region in Performing Arts Unit 1. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to these two students, aspiring musicians, excellent young man and young woman, and great Trinity College representatives. I thank you so much to these two students for their significant achievements. And I also want to say that special thank you to Ms. Toppin. Ms. Toppin, your tremendous efforts and your drive for excellence is noted and highly appreciated year after year. Thank you to the form teachers for your support of these two students, and of course to all the merit listers of Form 6 this morning. Thank you to all subject teachers who have also shown your continued support to the two students and all others. Thank you everyone this morning, and congrats again to the Form 6 merit listers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fonset. Thank you to the form teachers, the students for persisting in their efforts to perform at the highest level based on the encouragement. And of course, we stand committed to support all members of the Trinity family to perform to their best. The news that was received recently was certainly well appreciated by all members of the Trinity family and the board and the principal. And we invite other members to really look at their practices, to challenge themselves so that not only these students, but other students will be able to present themselves at the announcements for coming exams in the next couple of months and the years ahead. So congratulations again to all. I would now like to invite the vice principal to present some final statements to us with respect to this assembly this morning. Ms. Niles, please.
A wonderful good morning, everyone. A wonderful good morning to teachers, to students, and of course, parents who would be listening, applauding their children on. This is a day where we get to celebrate the hard work, whether it is from students who are here for now 3 terms, almost the end of 3 terms, or whether 5 or 7 years. We say congratulations to all of you. And with encouragement, the journey continues. This is not the time to sit back and relax and figure, okay, I have arrived, but rather to continue working hard. This is the opportunity for others, as said earlier, who may not have made the merit list, but you can make the effort. Each term can be broken down into each month, each week, to do better than you were doing before. And when that is done, when that approach is taken, the improvement is guaranteed. Each person has different abilities, but as a teacher of 20 years, it is remarkable often to see that there are times that students where we may term less ability, but broad and they work very often, gradually, they reach and sometimes surpass those who we deem have more ability. So that is to encourage all of you who are not on this list that you can do it. Put in the work. A special thank you, of course, to Mr. Solomon and the advice that he would have given to all of you in terms of using it as a ladder and that gradually you can get there. He indicated, and I'm saying it again to you, you can do nothing unless you ask Almighty God that you put him first and that he can help you to be who you have to be. He has already said it. He has already purposed your life and that you can reach to that. So the strength with Almighty God, with your parents, the support systems at school, you can realize your goal. So, for those of you, the special spotlight, continue to smile, continue to shine, and continue to be wonderful examples to others. Always be a leader in good things and not a follower in bad. Have a wonderful rest of term and congratulations and applause. Mr. Tang.
Thank you, Ms. Niles. Certainly well said, and an excellent summary of our experiences today, and of course, excellent summary of the advice to the students. Thank you again, Mr. Solomon, Mr. Dolly, Mr. Canterbury, and the team who would present this to the Trinity family via the live YouTube stream. Thank you again, the staff, the deans, the teachers, the parents, for all of your work to get us to this point where even if we would have had some difficulties within the last year, we can today move to a presentation of our successes of the students. Thank you all again. I would just like to note that I am very, very extremely happy to actually see the students by way of their cameras, and they're turning on their cameras. It is a little bit different where we are here working in the office and at the college to ensure that the plant is maintained and the systems are in place. But we would note that we do miss the students, and it is very nice to see them on screen. I would also like to note the higher number of students scoring 80%. I think I made a check. It was about 33 students with 8 in Form 4. And we encourage the other students to try and get within that list. Congratulations and best wishes and encouragement for all the students to take up the challenge to perform at their best. So with those closing remarks, I thank you all for your attention, your presence, your support, and I wish you all a very pleasant day as we return to our scheduled classes via the online platform. So do a pleasant day. See you all around, and please be safe and encourage each other to perform to our best. Thank you all.